what actually makes a life good? It's a question people have been asking forever. Philosophers, scientists, probably you and me. But what does the science actually say? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig in and find out. So, what do you think it is? Is it about how much money you make, all the awards you collect, maybe getting famous? Or is it something else, something deeper? We're going to cut through all that noise and look at one of the longest, most amazing studies ever done on human happiness to find the real evidence-based answer. But to really get a handle on the modern answer, we've got to rewind the clock, way back. The ancient Greeks actually had two totally different ideas about what happiness even is. And believe it or not, they basically set the stage for how we still talk about it today. So on one side, you have this idea of hedonic well-being. This is all about feeling good, right? Seeking pleasure, avoiding pain. It's that high you get from an amazing concert or a fantastic meal. But then you have this other idea, eudaimonic well-being. And this is totally different. It's not just about feeling good, it's about living a good, meaningful life, finding your purpose, even when it's tough. It's really the difference between a fleeting moment of pleasure and a deeper, lasting sense of fulfillment. Okay, so which path is the one that really leads to a good life? For that, we can jump from ancient philosophy right into modern science and into this absolutely incredible study that has been following people for their entire lives. Yep, you heard that right. 84 years. The Harvard study of adult development kicked off way back in 1938, and they started tracking two very different groups of young men, students from Harvard who had every advantage, and boys from some of Boston's poorest neighborhoods. For decades, researchers tracked everything: their health, their jobs, their wins, their losses, and, crucially, their relationships. So after all that time, after watching hundreds of lives unfold from teenagers into old men, what was the big secret they uncovered? Well, it actually surprised the researchers. The number one thing that predicted a long, happy life wasn't how much money they made or how famous they became or even how healthy their diet was. It was this. Over and over again, for 84 years, the data screamed the same answer: good relationships. It turned out that people who were the most connected to their family, their friends, their community, they were not only happier, they were physically healthier, and they actually lived longer than the people who were more isolated. It's that simple and that profound. But wait a second, how? How can something like a friendship literally affect your physical body and how many years you get to live? Well, the answer is hiding in our biology. Let's flip this around and look at the dark side of connection: loneliness. The health risks here are just staggering. A huge study found that being socially isolated increases your risk of dying early by 29%. I mean, let that sink in for a second. That's a health risk that's right up there with smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's a huge deal. And this forces us to think about loneliness in a totally new way. It's not some personal failing or something to be ashamed of. It's a biological alarm bell. It's your body telling you that a fundamental need, the need for human connection, isn't being met. It's just as real and just as urgent as the feeling of thirst when you need water. So here's what's actually going on under the hood. Life is stressful, right? And when we're stressed, our body goes into fight or flight mode, flooding us with hormones like cortisol. Well, good relationships act like a buffer. They're like a built-in stress regulation system that helps our bodies calm down and find their balance again. Without those connections, we can get stuck in this chronic low-level stress mode, which leads to inflammation that just grinds our bodies down over time. Okay, so we've established that connection is absolutely vital. That brings up a really important question. Is well-being a skill? Is it something we can actually practice and, get better at? Well, one study wanted to find out exactly that. Researchers took a group of university students and put them through this 9-week program, 18 sessions in total, designed to teach them the actual skills of well-being. We're talking things like practicing gratitude, being optimistic, self-awareness, and learning how to manage negative thoughts. And the results were fascinating. Just look at this. The first bar shows the happiness scores of the group that got the training before they started. Now look at the second bar. That's them after the program, a huge jump in well-being. And then compare that to the control group on the right, the ones who didn't get the training. Their scores barely moved. The takeaway here is massive. Well-being isn't just a lottery. It's a skill we can actually learn and improve with practice. So what does all this mean for you and me right now? If well-being is a skill we can train and relationships are the most important ingredient, how do we actually put that into practice? Let's build a really simple, actionable plan. The director of that big Harvard study calls this idea social fitness, and I just think it's a perfect way to think about it. We all get that we have to go to the gym or go for a run to stay physically fit. Well, our relationships are exactly the same. They need active, regular workouts to stay strong and healthy. They don't just take care of themselves. So how do you actually practice it? It's way simpler than you might think. First, just take stock. Think about your relationships. Who in your life really energizes you? Second, be present. This is huge. When you're with someone, really be with them. Put the phone away. Give them your full attention. And third, express gratitude. Just make it a habit to tell people what you appreciate about them. It means the world. And this brings us to the simplest, but maybe the most powerful takeaway from all those decades of research. It's not some complicated formula. Right now, think of one person who's important to you. Someone you're grateful for. Got 'em? Okay. Don't just keep that thought to yourself. Pick up your phone, send them a message, call them. Just tell them. The science on this is clearer than ever. A good life is built on good relationships. So the final question isn't for a philosopher, and it's not for a scientist. It's for you. Who are you going to connect with today?